In 1896, two lumberjacks were hired to clear out some land for farming north of Newberry, Michigan. Under an uprooted tree, the men made a discovery that would have people scratching their heads for over 100 years. In a hole beneath the tree, a stone tablet measuring 19 by 26 inches was revealed. Alongside the tablet were three stone figurines, appeared to be a life-size man, a woman, and a child. Now, what's truly fascinating about this tablet is what was on it. In a grid-like pattern, 140-inch-and-a-half squares were carved into the smooth face of the tablet. Strange symbols and markings were inside of all but two of the squares. 140 squares in total with 137 figures. Experts traveled to Newberry to see the strange tablet that had been found in the woods. The men that did see the tablet in person believed that it had not been a hoax and it was real. A lot of people believe that the symbols were Egyptian hieroglyphs or symbols of the Greek alphabet, but they were neither of those in the end. The pictures were sent to the Smithsonian, where after their analysis, they filed it under Michigan fakes. The Smithsonian filed it under Michigan fakes because around the same time, many different tablets and carvings were found around the lower peninsula of Michigan and across different Indian burial mounds in the Midwest. Those are also known as the Michigan relics. And I have personally seen some of the Michigan relics, which consisted of chunks of slate with carvings and inscriptions on it, and also clay or copper tablets with cuneiform or linear A or linear B type symbols on it. And they do look pretty legit, but I'm not an expert on that, so I don't have any much input on it. After the Smithsonian's filing of the Newberry tablet as a hoax, the tablet and its accompanying figurines were stored in a horse barn for decades, where it was long forgotten and began to deteriorate away due to mishandling and poor preservation. Unfortunately, the original tablet has pretty much crumbled into unrecognition, but a replica has been made and is now on display in the Fort des Bois Indian Museum in St. Agnes, Michigan. As time went on, people began to dig up the old articles and stories of the Newberry tablet. They began to take the pictures and compare them to old Minoan or linear A or linear B symbols across the ancient European Mediterranean world. I had found a research paper online from Minus Secretsis. Probably butchered that a little bit, but he is a professor at a secondary school in Heraclean, Greece. He is also an expert on ancient symbolism and studies ancient Crypto-Minoan scripts. He compared pictures of the Newberry tablet symbols to other Cypro-Minoan linear A and linear B symbols already known on record. On the tablet, 39 different symbols were used. Of the 39 symbols, 23 of them are precisely accurate to known Cypro-Minoan and classic Cypriot script. 7 of the symbols are similar to linear A and linear B ideograms. The remaining 9 symbols are unknown in comparison to any ancient languages. The possibility for this could be that languages are known to regionally mix with other cultures and create their own form of dialect or their own symbology. Tysikritsis, in his conclusion, says that the tablet is most likely genuine. His reasoning for believing it is genuine is because there are so many symbols on the Newberry tablet that are similar or identical to Cypro-Minoan script. And another argument against this being a hoax is that when the tablet was discovered in 1896, Cypro-Minoan and linear A and linear B symbols were not publicly known, especially to a couple of loggers up in the UP of Michigan. The first Cypro-Minoan symbols were discovered on 2 seals in 1875, but were not publicly revealed until 1957. So there'd be no way for the loggers that discovered this tablet to have faked it because they wouldn't have known about these symbols exist. 2 of the symbols that were found on the seals were also on the Newberry tablet. Still to this day, no one has really been able to decipher or translate what the tablet says, mainly because linear A still has not been deciphered and a lot of Cypro-Minoan script has not been deciphered fully either. In the end, the Newberry tablet still remains a major mystery and continues to boggle minds around the world for anyone that finds interest in it to try to decipher it or validate its legitimacy or to poo-poo it away like many, if not most, of the accredited archaeologists and Smithsonian Institute have for the past 100 years. If it is in fact ancient and absolutely legitimately real and Cypro-Minoan text, it would be one of the biggest connections between the Bronze Age Mediterranean societies and the mining in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. As more people try to decipher, or attempt to decipher, I should say, we inch ever closer to getting the answers of possibly who either traded with the miners or who actually did the mining of the copper in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And unfortunately, because we still have not deciphered Linear A or Cypro-Minoan symbology or languages, we won't be able to know what it says until we actually get those answers first. And as I said before, the original has crumbled basically away due to mishandling, but a replica is on display at the Fort Dubois Indian Museum in St. Ignace, Michigan. If you're ever in the area, to go check it out. I have not seen it yet in person, but I plan on going to look at it eventually soon, hopefully. Take a trip over that way. So what are your thoughts on the Newberry tablet and the figurines that I was accompanied with? Do you think it's a hoax? Do you think it's actually made by the Minoans possibly that came over? Do you think the Minoans were the ones that came and did the mining, traveled across Lake Superior? Or do you think they came and traded? Or do you think it was someone else? Leave your thoughts and comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Also, if you could, in the comments below, or reach out to me on my X at JeffUpNorth57. Any stories or areas, places around the UP to go check out or dig into? I'd love to hear some more, because there's only so much you can actually find doing research without actually talking to people in certain areas. And I'd like to do that, get out more and find any myths, legends, locations that are obscure, weird, potentially ancient, that could be connected to the mining or the ancient people that frequented the area. So let me know, reach out in the comments or on my X. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So I want to thank you for checking out this video again. It's been a couple weeks since I made one. Had some issues, but I'm back, hopefully back to my weekly release schedule. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.